Hey, folks. Okay, so lots of things going on right now, and I'm trying to get this video done before the storm circles back in this direction. Um, so you'll note that the header today said Van Life Edition, and I wanted to talk a little bit about an awesome friend of mine, Justin. Justin does something called Van Life. He is living his best life in a lovely large van with his kitty cat Lister, and he has a website called smokeydevan.com. It's smokeydevan.com. And he says it's a man, a cat, a motorcycle, and a van. And he has pictures and information and stuff about going into all sorts of different places and all sorts of things. And lots of lovely pictures of Lister, who, is admittedly horrendously adorable and may have come to visit me recently. So the reason that I'm mentioning Smokey Devan, even though that part of his life isn't about writing, Justin himself is a writer, and he's fairly new to van life. He's had the idea for a long time, but basically a bunch of stuff happened in his life last year during the pandemic that led him to be where he is today. And so he is out there. He's been down to Florida. He's currently in Massachusetts, and he's heading out west. But he's also going to be helping me with my next cookbook project, which is going to be the Van Life Cookbook. So I know I was talking about a bunch of things, and I'm probably going to work on fictional stuff during NaNoWriMo because I very easily came to the conclusion that a cookbook during NaNoWriMo was not my jam. But this requires a lot of effort and work on my part because I'm used to cooking feasts. I'm not used to cooking for one or two people. I find it extremely difficult. So this is going to be a beginner's cookbook. The idea is going to be to have a cookbook that is there for people who are new to van life and maybe getting used to the basic idea. Sorry, I'm fixing there we go. The basic idea that not everybody who starts van life is really aware of how to do cooking on the go. And it's a very different thing doing cooking on a stove or doing cooking on a fire, like at a campsite, and doing cooking on a single butane or propane burner in the back of a van. They're very different ways and methods of cooking. So I have picked myself up a butane cook stove, partially for my own camping adventures and partially so that I can practice some of these recipes. And I'm going to be using Justin and possibly some of his van life friends to do test recipes for me. So all of the food is going to be done small. So the idea is you have a cooler or a cooler-sized fridge. You may not have a freezer, and you may have only access to certain number of days worth of food, and how to take simple foods and even things like from the dollar store or from the Dollar General or whatever local farmers market you're at, and how to turn those into healthy meals that you can cook while you're on the go. And it can be used for camping. It can be used for Ren fairs. It can be used for any of those things, or it can be used if you happen to be a college dorm kid and you're trying to cook small. But the idea generally is that it'll be for those people who are living in a van or a very tiny home and are traveling across the country, and how to do that efficiently and tastily without giving up your nutritional needs and without giving in to eating takeout Chinese 3 or 4 times a week. I'm very excited about this. Some of the other books that I've been working on are still kind of in the background, and I'll be working on them in dribs and drabs as I come up with recipes. But the Van Life Cookbook really did sort of like with the medieval cookbook, it took off with a life of its own almost immediately, and so I feel like I'm on the right track here, and I'm really excited about it. Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys will look into it and pick things up and have a good time with it. Now it's going to be a year in the making, maybe a bit more, depending on how much I get finished before NaNoWriMo starts in November. But this is going to be fun and exciting, and with well-tested recipes with people who aren't necessarily great cooks. I know a lot of the people that I hang with are people who do cooking a lot, and even that might not be helpful to you if you're in a van. So it's a whole different way of cooking, and I'm really hoping that it will be useful and that it will be fun. Um, So there's some cool things that I found out about van life. One of them is that, for instance, Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop will let van life and tiny house people park in their parking lots overnight. So here we have the perfect place to go and pick up the kind of gear that you need to cook well in a small space on the go. That kind of stuff is going to be jam-packed into the cookbook, and the instructions are going to be very simple, and the idea is you're going to have 1 or 2 pots. We're going to utilize things like pot liners and things that are easy to clean up so that you don't have a ton of dishes to do, you don't have a ton of cleanup, but you're still getting really good food. So that's where I'm at with that. Please do check out Smokey Devan. He's awesome. I will try and put the link into the comments down below for those who may be interested in reading about Justin's lovely life out on the road. I know I follow his stuff, and he does videos and things, and of course there's always Lister, who's amazing and adorable because he's a black cat. As for appearances, my next appearance is September 11th at the Auburn Duck Race Day, and that's at 22 Hookset Road in Auburn, New Hampshire. I will be down Author Alley, which is the side of the Auburn Library, and I'll be there with a full booth. I will have not just cookbooks, but also my vampire novels. And a little bit of swag, not as much as I had hoped. Things kind of got a little crazy here. And also the storm and stuff coming through has messed with a lot of what I had intended to do. But it's all good. I will be there. I will have books. I'll be signing things. I'll be doing talks and maybe a little display. I'll have some bread there. And it's going to be a really fun day. And I think it's rain or shine. So I hope it's shining. But I will see you there. And I also have an appearance at Monadnock Oil and Vinegar coming up sometime probably in September or October, but I have to still find out dates on that. We haven't finished rescheduling. We're looking at what works best for them, and we'll see from there. And then other news. Oh, wait. Also, the Fitchburg Blacksmithing and Renaissance Festival, September 25th at the Fitchburg Riverfront Park in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. I will be there with as many of the fam as we can pull together. There might be a brand new baby Viking with us. That remains to be seen how well mom and baby are doing. Just to note, baby hasn't been born yet. We're sort of, we're at the final couple of weeks here. So we're all, good vibes to mom, okay? But anyway, on a completely different note, I wanted to tell you guys, that I'm a member of the SCA, the Society for Creative Anachronisms. And for the past several years, I have been the Granite Pursuivant, which is the herald for New Hampshire. I help people with their heraldry. I help announce court, things like that. And some things went down which really pushed some buttons for me. There's a lot, just the SCA is going through the same kind of thing that the rest of the world is, in that a lot of things that are being politicized that maybe shouldn't be. And I got snapped at, and I don't think that the person who snapped at me intended it to be rude, okay? I want to say that publicly. But it was, and I'm just tired of it. I'm My best friend told me, "This is a game, and if you're not having fun, then why are you doing it?" And I had to ask myself that very seriously, and the answer is, it hasn't been fun. And I didn't expect it to be fun during the pandemic, but I didn't expect it to be as horrid as certain aspects of it have been. None of my people have been that way. The Baron and Baroness have been wonderful. All of the heralds that I work with have been amazing. You know, all of that stuff. But some of the random people have just really dragged the game out of game, and it's not the dream anymore. It's kind of become a bit of a nightmare, and I needed to step back from that. So, as hard as it was, I tendered my resignation. I guess technically I'm still in because I'm not going to step down until they have somebody to replace me. I'm not interested in hurting the barony or any of my peeps at all, because they've been amazing and fantastic and supportive and just unflagging in their support of me. Um, but I am stepping down, and I'm still struggling with that. I know it was the right thing to do. I knew the minute I made the decision, and it wasn't an easy decision to make, and it took me a long time to get there. But I needed to step back from the official stuff in SCA. I was getting burnt out, and I was getting frustrated with things, and that's not good for me or anybody else. So, as hard as it is, I am no longer going to be the granite pursuivant. And that's kind of bittersweet. I think I've done an okay job. Not so much during the pandemic because I haven't done a lot, and I could have, but I didn't. Um, but I think this is the right thing for me. And so that's where I'm at. Anyway, um, hopefully this means that I'll be paying more attention to my cookbooks and my fictional books and getting some more stuff out there to you guys. Look out for van life stuff. Go check out Smokey, Devan, and Lister, and Justin, and have a great time. And I really hope I see a lot of you at the Auburn Duck Day. I'm so looking forward to that. I get to have a whole booth to myself, and it's all about my books. I'm not sharing it with anything else. So that's kind of a first for me, and I'm wicked excited. So I hope I see you there. I'll be in my medieval garb, all dressed up for the day, so I should be easy to find. Have yourselves a great day, guys. I love you all. Remember to hydrate, eat well, and I'll catch you soon. And remember to like and subscribe wherever it is, somewhere down here. And please make comments. I'm always up for talking to people. Bye bye.